In the 4 or so years that RPM's been around, we've had quite a collection of long-term cars. Everything from the basic Suzuki Alto that we've got now to the mighty BMW M3. We've had a Z4M Coupe as well.
Absolutely, but one genre that we haven't covered up to now, and one that's becoming increasingly important, is the hybrids market.
Correct, and so to tick that little box, we turned to Honda and they supplied us with a CRZ.
Yes, and I'm so happy about that because the CRZ at least has got some guts and it's actually fun to drive.
No disrespect to any other hybrid on the road, but that's possibly the biggest thing that sets this car apart. It's not trying to project a hippie image, it's just trying to be a normal car with an extra electric motor. We took delivery of our pearl white CRZ with high expectations. We tested the car a few months back and came away impressed. Not least of all because it's a world apart from our usual perceptions of what this kind of car should be. Generally speaking, the first thing people think of when you say hybrid is the Toyota Prius, and that doesn't paint a very flattering picture. Honda's other hybrid, the Insight, doesn't do a much better job, but the CRZ basically trashes any idea you might have about what hybrid technology should look like. It has attention-grabbing looks, this car. With a low nose and narrow glass, the immediate impression is more sports machine than planet saver. Even the wedged rear isn't as jarring here as it is on other hybrids. It actually manages to look like a cohesive part of the design, rather than some kind of overstated aerodynamic gimmick. All in all, the look of the CRZ is a very good introduction to the car's potential. It has dynamic fun written all over it, even if the engine doesn't sound quite as exciting. What you can see here is the 1500 petrol motor, and buried somewhere deep inside there is the IMA, or Integrated Motor Assist. Together they produce 93 kilowatts and 174 newton meters to power what Honda is calling the world's first compact hybrid sports car. But a large part of the reason for this car's being is the fuel saving and CO2 emissions reductions, which are nothing short of impressive. The CO2 figure is a tax-dodging 117 grams per kilometer, and Honda's claimed combined cycle fuel consumption figure is 5 litres per 100 Ks, although our real-world figures will more than likely prove to be a little less frugal by the time our year with this car is up. You might think that calling this car a sports car and then giving it less than 100 kilowatts is a bit of a cheek on Honda's part. But actually, the CRZ does manage to surprise in some ways. For starters, it's not fitted with a NAF CVT or a blunt automatic gearbox. It's got a proper 6-speed manual. And dropping it into sport mode really does make a difference. And out here on these fantastic mountain roads, sport mode is all this car is interested in. It's not the most powerful thing by any stretch, but it has a great chassis and steering setup combined with confidence-inspiring feel and Honda's traditional high-revving engine capabilities. Honda do make good interiors, and the CRZ is one of the best. It wraps you up like a true sports coupe, but there's still decent room up front. The whole layout is driver-focused, it lights up in various shades of blue and green, and the materials are mostly superb, although it remains to be seen how this very light grey leather holds up. The other thing about Honda interiors is that people usually love them or don't get them. For us, the mix of futuristic holographic displays, good ergonomics and traditional materials makes for a very nice cabin. The standard spec includes iPod integration, cruise control, climate control and seat heaters, which have been really appreciated this winter. But all the fun is to be had up front. The rear seats are more like Soviet-sized bits of foam, and no one in their right mind would want to spend any time in the back or subject anyone they love, i.e. children, to that kind of torture.
One normally associates hybrid cars with vehicles that are all politically correct and not that much fun to drive.
Yep, they've got a purpose to serve. They need to save the planet and save you fuel. But Honda's managed something quite interesting with the CRZ. It is actually quite a lot of fun to drive.
Yes, which is why, of course, they call it a sporty hybrid and not just a normal plain old hybrid.
If you want to drive it responsibly in a very eco-friendly way, it does have drive modes. It's got eco mode, it's got normal mode, but the best fun is to be had in sport mode. We had our fun on the open road, and we've got a full year of exploring the CRZ's capabilities as an everyday runabout as well. Keep watching RPM for regular updates on our first hybrid long-term test car. The compact and lively hybrid drivetrain is a CRZ highlight, offering decent performance while keeping the greenies happy. The gearbox and chassis are excellent too. The result is a car that's undeniably sporty and looks the part, with a full house interior to match. But treat it as a two-seater and don't expect too much when the IMA isn't on song.